So you want to play a really bunkery warrior for SPvP in Guild Wars 2, or you don't even have any expansion and want to try out warrior and PvP, then this build is for you. I'm Summer, and let's take a look at this incredible build. Disclaimer, this build was first shown off by the Frenchies in the monthly AT, by Goku especially, so I did not come up with it. For gear, you will want to run Berserker Amulet with Dolyak Rune, and you want to run Longbow X Warhorn. You will see in a second why this is so important that you have exactly this weapon set up. On the Longbow, you want to have Battle and Energy, so that you get more might and more dodges, really important. And on the X set, you want Energy, because it's always really good, and Intelligence. And Intelligence makes a lot of sense, because your X is your offensive set, and if you can hit Eviscerate or an X3 with the Intelligence block, you deal actually quite a lot of damage, even though you are a little bit of a bunker. For Relic, you of course go for Relic of Rivers. If you, by chance, for example, want to play this build without any expansion, the alternative would be Relic of Evasion, I would say. So you get Vigor after you evade an attack. That might make sense. Other options, of course, are Relic of Iscaron or Relic of Nyos. There are some options, but I would say Relic of Rivers is by far the best, because you dodge so often. And every time you get only 1 second of alacrity now, but it's still quite good, and the region is really good because you don't have access to region otherwise. So it's really, really good relic. I think it's by far the best one for this build. And that's for the gear. Now to the traits. So for the traits, like I said, this is a core warrior. So you want strength, defense, and tactics. Strength is the whole idea behind this build. So you get some damage when you dodge in combat. Also, if you hit enemies with it, it's might. Might is really important. When you use a heal skill, you grant might, and you also get resistance. Really important. Resistance is quite a strong boon. Then, when you hit with a burst skill, it restores endurance. So this is almost a third of a dodge. Can be really strong, especially with your longbow burst, because that always does it. Then you have Great Fortitude, you get some Vitality, and Ferocity. Just baseline, really strong. And then Might, applied to you, grants more power, and your critical chance is increased. Just straight up more boon, more damage, and be aware you have a lot of might, so the power increases actually quite a lot. So even though you're bunker build, even you have a lot of might access, you can actually hit quite hard if you time it correctly. And then the last one, this is the trait that is really important, Might Max Right. So you heal every time you get might, and you get 2 endurance. It doesn't seem like much, but you get so much might access that you can dodge quite frequently, which will again proc Reverse Relic and therefore get you alacrity, which you then can use to use your might skills again. So it's a really bunkery setup. So you get a lot of might, you get healing, you get alacrity, and you can do the same again and dodge all the time to evade attacks. Really strong, especially in Conquest, where you don't really have to kill an opponent to contest a node. And then defense, gain protection when using a healing skill. Nice. This is really strong at 100 health. You just, every time you use Adrenaline, you get a stack, and you can, if you use it at maximum, you get full stacks. And then you get passive healing, and this is really strong passive healing. You know, over 15 seconds, almost 5k, it's really strong passive healing that you permanently have. Over the course of the match, it will ramp up to 100,000, 200,000 healing over the whole match. Really strong. And then you get damage reduction while you have resolution. And you get resolution frequently. That's really good as well. Resolution just decreases the incoming condition damage, and that helps a lot with dealing with conditions. Then you deal more damage against weakened foes, and your burst skill afflict weakness. This is just a little bit of damage increase, and weakness can be really helpful if you apply it in the right moment. Then gain resistance when you dodge when in combat. Or actually, it's not one. It's all the time, I think. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's really strong. You get resistance, and resistance is really helpful against blind, against immobilizer, against these nasty conditions. Really strong. And then gain adrenaline when you hit. This is you don't run discipline, so this is your most frequent adrenaline generator. And remove a condition when you hit with a burst skill. And it will remove additional conditions based on the adrenaline spent. So you're a core warrior, so you have access to 3 adrenaline health bar. That's really strong. So if you Of course, if you hit Eviscerate, that's nice to cleanse conditions, but this is especially strong with Combustive Shot, because it will always cleanse those conditions. It doesn't even hit an enemy, because it's so easy to land. It's just an AoE field. You will cleanse the conditions even if there's no enemy in there. It's really strong. And this will cleanse a lot of conditions over the course of the match. And then you have Tactics. This is also why you can run this build as a little bit of a supporter if you are in a small team fight or something, because you have actually quite a lot of AoE healing and might application as well. So you can periodically gain Soldier's Focus, and hitting a burst skill expands this might to nearby allies. Then you deal more damage per boon on you, quite nice damage buff. And then applying might to an ally heals you. This is really strong. In a 1-on-1, it's only you that will benefit. So only you get might, and then only you get the healing. But if you're in a team fight, it's still only you that gets the healing, but you have way more people, so to say, that are possible targets for your might. And every single time you apply might, you heal them. This is especially strong with, for example, for Great Justice, because you apply 12 mights to 5 targets. So it's 60 might, so to say, possibly, that you can apply. And this will 60 times proc this trait, so it will heal over 3k just by using this trait without any other trait. It's insane. Then you have Soldier's Focus, also heals the allies and not only grants them might. And protection as well. So you're really supportive in that sense, because you have might, protection, and healing just by passively playing your rotation or your skills. And then passively use Shake It Off and use a heal skill. Can be really strong, because also not only removing a damaging condition from allies heals them, can be really helpful, but it will also proc this trait, because shouts heal and you get more healing power based on your percentage of power. So this is why this using a healing skill will proc to Shake It Off or Shrug It Off, and then Shake It Off, which will cleanse one condition, and then also give you more healing. So your healing skill, if you get it through, is healing immensely. It heals almost 10k or something. It's insane. So now we are already at the skills. So your healing skill is extremely strong. It has a long cast time, so be aware that it can be interrupted. So try to LOS or just be really careful when to cast it. But it grants you might, resistance, protection, a lot of healing. And that's really the important part here. It gives you full adrenaline. That's really strong. And it gives you and your allies 100 endurance. 100. This is insane. These are 2 dodges. And with this build, 2 dodges are a lot, because you can get the alacrity, you can get the might back. You have so much more regen of endurance. It's insane. So really strong heal. If you face a lot of condition pressure, you could swap that for mending. But I would say this is extremely strong in this setup with core. And you have for Great Justice, just really strong Fury application, some healing around you and yourself, and a lot of might, of course. So if you dodge and then use this trait, you get almost half a dodge back. So this skill, it's really strong. And Signal of Stamina, you passively get faster endurance. It's really strong, 50% endurance regen passively, which is like Vigor. So that's why the Signal, the Relic of Evasion might overcap easily. So be aware though, if you run Evasion Relic, you might swap this, just because it's not that worth it. But it passively grants you 50% endurance, really, really good, really fast dodge regen, even without applying might. And the active is also extremely strong. So it cleanses up to 14 conditions, so it cleanses all the conditions that you have on you. It's instant cast, and therefore can be a stun break if you get feared or taunted or something. And for every single condition that you cure, you get endurance. So you get baseline 50 endurance, and if you have 14 conditions, you will get for sure another dodge. So most of the time when you use it, you get 2 dodges. It's insane. It's so much value, and it's only on a 30-second cooldown. It's so strong, this Signet. And then you have Shake It Off. It's an AoE Condi cleanse. It removes 4 conditions. It's extremely strong, and also breaks stuns. So not only for you, for also your allies, and the conditions cleanse as well, and therefore you get a lot of healing from just the Shake It Off trait, but also because of this trait, removing a damaging condition from an ally heals them, so you can also heal them with using cleansing conditions by using this. And then the elite skill is passively grants your adrenaline, really strong, and when you activate it, you get really short duration boons. So activate this whenever you really, really need a dodge, because it will give you almost 1 dodge back. Really, really good. And yeah, Verdo, this is extremely selfish, so to say, this Signet of Rage. If you want to help your teammates, you can go for Battle Standard, because you can stomp targets and revive them. And if you feel like you will get more value from Rampage, you of course can also go Rampage. But I would say this is the best setup for 101s, and that's what the build is supposed to do, Bunker Downer 101. For the weapon skills, you have your X skills. 2 skill is really important, it gives you Fury and Vulnerability. If you combo that with your 3 skill, that hits really hard, especially in a target without that much health left. And the 4 skill, Quickness, condition removes of the movement impairing conditions. All of them are Blast Finisher, 4 and 5, really strong. And Swiftness, you can permanently upkeep Swiftness, really good as well. Especially for teamfights might be helpful. And then Call of Value, like I said, Blast Finisher, removes 3 conditions from you and allies. Gives Vigor, so you have a lot of access to Vigor just by using this. And then Barrier, 3000 Barrier, might be really helpful in a team fight or something. And like I said, Blast Finishes, you can combo that with your Fire Field that you have here on the Longbow. And therefore get Area Might, and every single time you do that, you get proc your Might Makes Right, of course, but also your Mending Might, and you get a lot of healing from that. The Eviscerate, if you can land it, especially with the Sigil of Intelligence, it's really hard hitting, especially with a lot of might. But it's a melee attack, so it might not land, so be aware of that. Then, like I said, this is extremely strong for Condition Cleanse, but also causes some nice damage. And as a Fire Field, you can combo that with the Blast Finisher here, or even with Eviscerate, just because it gives you the Fire Aura, which will grant you a lot of might again. Then the 2 skills, some nice burning, and actually also some nice damage, especially if you can hit it melee range. This is a Blast Finisher and the most hard-hitting skill that you have on this weapon set. Some almost instant cast blind skill, really, really good. 3 ammunition, so you can use it quite frequently. And then pin down, really important skill. If you hit this, even though you're not conditioned, you have a lot of might, so it will deal some damage as well. But it immobilizes for 3 seconds. So if you can land this, it's extremely valuable, because you then can set up, for example, your Eviscerate or your X3, and you might kill them just by doing this. But like I said, you're a bunker build, you want to go for 101s or 1v2s and hold it the point because you're so tanky. But of course, in teamfights, you provide also value. And that's it for the build. I hope you liked this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.